If any of you have seen my Twitter since the announcement of Battlefield 5, it's no surprise I'm not a big fan of its World War II setting. Since the previous game in the series was World War I and they already stretched that setting pretty close to the weaponry found in World War II, I didn't feel like there would be much of a difference between them. They did World War I, so now go to modern again, or do a near future thing, then go back to World War II a few years later. The modern settings of Battlefield 3 and 4 opened up different styles of gameplay you just can't do in those older settings. And not to say that I told you so, but I totally brought that up years ago before the launch of Battlefield 1, and everyone said I was crazy. I made this little graphic before even starting this video to see if it was even worth talking about. Here you can see a representation of everything in Battlefield 4. This isn't all the items in the game, but there is a representation from every category in the game. Now we'll put Battlefield 4's items over here to the left and pull out all the elements that fit into the World War I setting. Oh, and look, a lot of people got bored with Battlefield 1, finding it a little too simplistic. What a shock. Anyways, after hearing more about Battlefield 5, I started to warm up to the idea because instead of the setting-changing gameplay, DICE decided to make the gameplay change the gameplay. In Battlefield 5, tons of new features have been introduced, and maybe it's best to introduce these new elements in a more simplistic setting like World War II before implementing them in future games. Minor changes include things like laying down on your back when you go prone, being able to tow different guns around with vehicles, and squad leaders being able to call in certain reinforcements. But two main things in the Battlefield 5 alpha stood out to me as major changes that put a spark back in my Battlefield step. First is how the game handles revives compared to previous games. Medics can revive people like they've always done with a needle to the arm and some reassuring words. But now in Battlefield 5, you can pick up your squad members whether you're a medic or not. Medics do it much faster, but with a little pat on the arm, any class can pick up their squad mates. This is one of the biggest changes to squads since squad spawning was introduced, and changes things, I think, for the better. In the alpha, many players just ran around unaware that they could actually pick up their squad, but once people get used to it, I think this could change a lot. Squads in the past could be treated like mobile spawn points, just getting you closer to the action and maybe giving you a teammate to follow. But now the squad is encouraged to work together and be a more cohesive team. Also, the screams of pain and agony on the ground kinda help. When you die, you lay on the ground calling out for help, yelling and screaming, hanging on for dear life. In this state, you can still look around and call out enemy positions, which makes perfect sense. In real life, you wouldn't just lay there quietly and die, you would be yelling, "Oh God, help me! Help me, there's two guys in here, for fuck's sake, help!" Some of my favorite moments in the alpha were actually charging towards objectives, picking up down teammates, and building up a small army to push forward. It made taking each objective just feel a little bit more personal. Well, both that and the second biggest feature added, building. I feel like the building mechanics in Battlefield 5 aren't getting enough attention, and I feel like they are a huge addition to the game. First, let me explain how building works, since there seems to be some confusion out there. In Battlefield 5, players have a little hammer they can use to build things like boarded up windows, scrap wood barriers, lay down sandbags, and we can't forget snowmen. Certain points on the map around objectives feature small hammer icons and white outlines of stuff you can build. And this, mixed with Battlefield's already impressive destruction, leads to more thinking during gameplay. Also, can I bring up, why can't we swing the hammer to do like 2 damage to enemies? Like, DICE, please, before the game finally comes out, just let us swing the hammer and do 2 damage. It would be like getting a kill with the blowtorch or the Calibri in Battlefield 1, something that's actually like insulting to the other player. Come on, it would be fun to troll people, right? Because right now all you can do with the hammer is build. Now you don't have to. If you aren't interested in building, then you can just focus on shooting like you've always done. I'm sure there's other players in the match who will enjoy building and helping out the team. I can see the building mechanics open up the game to many different types of players. Like in Overwatch, how some people like playing assault and others like to heal. Capturing a new objective from the enemy and knowing they're on their way to take it back, you start to look around. Okay, let's see, those walls over there are badly damaged, we could use some cover over there, tanks might come through this road. When I say the building mechanics add thinking, I mean small things like those that kept me engaged during the match. Part of me feels some ownership for capturing an objective and then building it up, so I want to defend it as long as I can. Building even helps your team, since health and ammo can now be picked up at objectives, but those same resources can be destroyed, meaning players need to rebuild them. That can even add a small bit of strategy when attacking. Do we focus on destroying the ammo and health containers so they run out of ammo faster? That's a small example, but it's a lot of these small examples that have really started to sell me on the new Battlefield. This isn't a full review, obviously, so don't treat it like one, but there are things that I hope are improved for the final release. Things like like gun feel, just make them hit a little harder, like sound-wise, not in the time to kill or anything. And sure, I wish it was a different setting. I forgot it wasn't World War I until the MP40 showed up, but like I said, it feels different in its gameplay, not in its setting, and in the end, I guess I prefer that. Oh, also, speaking of setting, can we fuck off with the whole historical accuracy thing at this point? It's not funny and got old real fast. Haha, know why they called it Battlefield V? Look, in single player, I understand. You are telling true-ish stories of people that actually existed, and they should be respected. But in multiplayer, who gives a shit? Everyone is just running around, shooting each other, and respawning a few seconds after. It doesn't matter, get over it. If they really wanted to disrespect people, they'd add the ability to dab on this end screen. Honestly, the first time they walked out, I totally expected them to do it, like, oh boy, here comes the next big EA controversy. But anyways, thanks for watching this quick look at Battlefield 5. I know it's not exactly like other content I've been doing recently, but I used to do a lot of stuff on Battlefield on this channel, and I wanted to do something with the alpha I got to play. So let me know what you guys think about Battlefield 5. By the way, all the gameplay in this was like on medium settings because the game isn't super optimized yet. It runs a little better on Intel, which I noticed because I have both a Ryzen PC and an Intel processor, and the Intel one seemed a little more, optimized, because Battlefield 1 runs great now compared to Battlefield 5, so I'm sure it just takes time. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about Battlefield 5. I'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching. Bye. See ya. Later.